see.
Yeah. Something weird is happening on my end. I had to close the live stream,
Okay.
the web page, because it was cutting a bit the connection.
Huh. I wonder why. Let's see. It should be coming up now. Wonder if it's shoot. Seems to be working okay. It says it's working, but yeah. Let me maybe restart this. Usually never had problems with it, but yeah. You guys there?
Yeah, it happens.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, looks like everybody's there. Okay. All right. Is everybody? The stream should be working now. Apologies for any of that technical difficulties. So yeah, Diego, if you want, what we're gonna do. So everybody that's joined here, Diego is one of my past mentorship students. He really accelerated through the course and really did a great job. And we had a lot of fun building things together. And just mentioned Diego landed a really awesome job that he's super stoked on. And I don't think he can talk much details about it, obviously, but yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations and have him on. I felt like it was really good for us to. The thing with like the Twitch streams is it's really great to have everybody on, from working professionals to friends of ours to students that are taking the course to people that are changing their roles in the course and also just changing their roles in life. You know, like going from a student to a teacher to a working professional. I think that these are all really important things and things that we should talk about. So yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk with you a little bit about like your experience, and then also just what you're aiming for and your goals and stuff. And if you know you have big ideas, if you want to like start your own studio, or if you want to become your own studio, or you just taking a day at a time, things like that. And then we'll probably Diego has a couple cool things he's going to start sharing with us as well, with cycles and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I'm just sharing like my screen. I have like, I'm just playing. These are like, sometimes I make scenes where I just play around with stuff to check lighting and textures and stuff. So people are asking about it. I'm in Cinema 4D and using Octane, and I'm just using some weird textures and I'm trying some weird things. So yeah, there's nothing really, yeah, there's nothing really exact with these too. So I might be turning this stuff into a design someday, but yeah, but I'm just having fun seeing things. Yeah. So yeah, what's your goals? What are you thinking about doing? Do you have like some big main goals and your process of making all these things and taking all these courses and all that stuff? Like, what are your main objectives?
Yeah, I have to. I used to have a really high goals and all those a really complicated life plan.
Mm-hmm. Did you write it all out or what?
Yeah, I tried to. I tried to really set up a future and all the steps I will go through.
Yeah.
To there. So yeah, life is really teaching me that is not a useful thinking, that you have to live a little more in the present and really enjoy what you have now and enjoy the step you are now and worrying only about the next one.
Yeah.
And yeah, so right now I'm becoming a professional, I guess.
That's awesome, man.
It's funny. But yeah, I'm starting to work. I'm really happy with the jobs I'm landing now. It's really awesome. And yeah, from here, I would love to keep learning. I think that's really important. I really enjoy learning software.
Yeah.
And yeah, a new course just appeared in the Learn Square lineup. So, well, a lot of courses actually, but the Houdini one looks really awesome.
Yeah, yeah. That's with Adam Swab. I don't know. I think you talked about wanting to learn Houdini, right? I think you said something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Which is actually quite ironic because I think you mentioned it in the class, and I was like, oh, I couldn't say anything because we don't want to say anything about a class until it's actually out there because we don't want people to be
Mhm.
like, hey, where'd that class go? And then it takes a long time to make classes. It takes like 6 to 4 months usually to make a class because the people that we bring on are working professionals, and so they're not necessarily like making the course, and that's like what they do for a living. So but no, that's yeah, Adam Swab is somebody that we've been wanting to do something with for some time now, so it's been really cool. It's been really cool to be able to like I used to work with him at Prologue. We worked together at Prologue, and that was a lot of fun. So but yeah, people have been requesting Houdini like crazy, and he's like the one to teach it. There's quite a few guys out there that really know it, but Adam's been around using it for quite some time, and he's making a really applicable course too. So it's really good. Yeah. Are you thinking about taking that course too?
Oh, I will take it,
Yeah.
definitely.
It'd probably
Yeah,
be something that you'd really enjoy. I can imagine you'll really accelerate at it. It'd be awesome.
yeah, I'm all about procedural programs and softwares. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really want to learn Houdini. It seems scary, but if I have a Learn Square course, I will probably pull it off.
Yeah, I think so. Like, yeah, I mean, I think learning with other people really helps too. Like, for you, what's the hardest part of learning?
The application and
Like the
the
UI and
really
like learning what does what?
no, actually that is for me at least is the easier part.
Mm-hmm.
The hard part is forgetting about the program and really uh, not thinking only in creative terms and
Yeah.
forgetting that you are using a software.
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part about software,
Yeah.
forgetting about it.
Yeah, that's true. Like just kind of letting it become an extension of yourself. So, um,
Yes,
yeah, I think that's definitely like an important part of just the process itself. It's something that is really difficult to do, though. I think it's really difficult as a part of like, I don't know, putting together when you're learning something new. It's like riding a bicycle or something as simple as that could sound. It's actually quite difficult, right? Because
yeah,
riding a bicycle, you must like give away your fear and kind of like just go and try, to enjoy the experience of actually riding a bicycle.
absolutely. And the thing about CG in general is you are not only riding a bicycle, but you are riding a bicycle and then changing to a car and then changing to a truck and then taking a train. And it's really complicated in that way. It's not only one software, and it's
No, it isn't. Yeah.
the alchemy of softwares.
Yeah. What's the program that you're really interested in now that you've learned pretty quickly, or something that you've learned in a program that you really enjoy?
Hmm. I'm getting a bit deeper in Fusion 360.
Oh yeah, Fusion's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to change everything in 3D printing. It's probably changing everything right now, and
Yeah.
I really like the philosophy behind the software.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The community is great.
Yeah. It's a really good community, and it's like really yeah, like the other day I started learning. I bought these tutorials online. I think it's called let's see, make it um, whoa, hold on here. Make it look good. Have you heard of these? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Let's see. Make it look good tutorials. Cinema 4D. I got these the other day. Let's see, where is it? I think it is. It's like Cinema 4D, hard surface. So the other day I asked everybody what's the best like hard surface modeling tutorials, and everybody sent me here. Yeah. Let's see. That's not the one. There's another one in here. Tutorials. Oh man, I gotta find it.
Making it look great.
Yeah, making it look great. That's it. Yeah, I've said good. Let's see.
Yeah, this looks really neat.
There is one that's really, really thorough, but there's a completely different thought process to just making things. And man, I don't know where it is. I bought it. I bought it. It was awesome. There it is. Hard surface techniques. Yeah, tactics for Cinema 4D. It's pretty long and it's really, really thorough. It's really been great though. It's like you can test some samples here. I'll you guys see this. You guys can yeah. It's really, really thorough, like incredibly thorough. The instructor, let's see, his name is Toby. I think it's Toby that's teaching it, but it's incredibly thorough, and it's like, because I've never learned how to do proper modeling, and that's one of my biggest weaknesses. So, and at least in Cinema 4D, I have Grant Warwick's stuff, but it just doesn't translate, to every program, as you mentioned, is different. So it was really good to be able to learn this and actually in cinema.
Topology is the same everywhere.
Yeah, that's what everybody's telling me, and I agree. It's just the way that you use them. Like, if you're in, let's say, cinema, and let's make it like a new document. If I go into like the modeling mode, I just recently started, so like getting something like, let's grab a cube and then make it editable, and being able to kind of like, utilize these things, but how every one of these things does something different, like the slip tool and our stitch and stew, or like and all these different things. It's really cool to learn this stuff, honestly, and like learning it properly through this has been really cool. So, but to go back to Fusion, I think Fusion's really amazing because it allows you to do really awesome operations, Boolean operations and stuff. I don't know if you've been watching like the streams with Mache where he's got Curtis on. Yeah, so like Curtis is really great, and it's such a powerful program. It's really incredibly strong and like really a really great piece of software for creatives just wanting to make something, like, without having to do too crazy stuff. Like there's operations in there that you can do that you can't do in these programs, which is interesting. So for me, I'm just learning from both of them right now and just seeing like what I like and what I don't like, so but that's cool. I'm glad you're using it. It's a really great program to make hard surface stuff, though. I wish, and I'm just wondering if they're going to create a better exporter. A lot of people have been asking me when I make something in Fusion 360. I'm excited. I have my next big film. It's going to be shipping that next month, and I built some really crazy things using Fusion. But the export process, the exporting through moments of inspiration. Have you ever used that one?
Yeah,
which is really cool. I rarely use it because I find Fusion to be more intuitive to what I like. But Vitaly uses this program quite a bit. He really loves it. The only problem I have with all this stuff is just the UVing and the retopology and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of a pain in the butt. That's if soon as they could figure out a way of doing that and then unwrapping it, that's going to be really good. And that's something I wanted to ask you and talk to you about. Is you're using Substance Designer, right?
I am. I wanted to show you a bit of that, but I didn't pay the monthly subscription this month, so I don't have it, which is a shame.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's super cool. It's really, really cool. It's changing everything. I can't talk much about it, but in the studio I'm now, it's become standard. It's a standard everywhere, so it's no secret. And it's really, really, really awesome. It's cool to use. It's relaxing. Actually, it's hard not to enjoy.
Using Substance Designer?
Yeah.
So you're saying it's fun and easy to use?
Yeah. It is. I've been trying out all the other ones, Quixel and Mary.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's the best one by far. I mean, Quixel has the Mega Scan archive, which is really useful too.
Yeah. I heard
Uh,
Quixel's kind of tricky though.
yeah, Quixel requires more work before you start painting.
Mm-hmm.
Substance is really well designed, and it really it requires no effort. You don't have to prepare that much to actually start the process. You could even start with a low poly with only without high poly information, and it will work fine,
Okay.
which is really cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Um, yeah, I need to check this out because the next few things I have big questions about that seems to be like really relevant things that people are using is Substance Painter. There's also, have you used 3D Coat? 3D Coat has a really amazing texture
Oh yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But I'm not sure if that's something that you've personally used. 3D Coat has some really awesome stuff though. Raul Marx was showing me some really cool stuff, and actually let's see, man, what is this? I never use my PC for web browsing. It's just I don't trust the internet with the PC. See if we go to the blog, if we go to the Apprentice, Raul Marx and I made this together, and he used what you call 3D Coat to texture this, the Apprentice. So you used all the 3D Coat for this, and these are the early passes and stuff. But it was pretty cool. I eventually made my own shader, and I did some renders that were like this, but this was before like I could get in there and really make. I like it's Cinema 4D, and like Octane doesn't have the ability to do things like what I think Substance can do, and what I believe 3D Coat can do, which is like adding all these like smart textures. I think it can with the dirt module, you know. So I just what I'm trying to think about is like, how important do you think Substance is? Is it something that is it used for re-UVing things and then texturing it? Is it smart?
No,
No. So what is it exactly?
it's only used for textures. I would say the best advantage of Substance is the layer system is really robust. It's pretty much like Photoshop.
Okay.
You can really mix materials really well, and of course the smart materials and the compatibility with Substance Designer is also very cool. You can do a lot of complicated things. Compared to other softwares, probably the only weakness is that it crashes sometimes.
This one does? Yeah. When you get like a heavy scene or something, or what?
Yeah, or even in complicated projections, it sometimes can do weird things. But usually those things are because of, in my experience, poor geometry or poor topology.
Yeah.
So if you do things properly, you will be fine. Also, it doesn't support 8K textures, which is
that's so good. Only 4K right now?
Yeah, in my experience, 8K is, well, in film is important. That's why Mary is used for film and characters. In video games, I don't think 8K is that common. You may use it, but I don't know. 4K is usually enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I find that 8K usually gets me what I want, but that's just me. So that's kind of yeah.
Well, of course, if you have really good GPUs,
yeah, that's true.
That's right.
Yeah, these are cool. So I'm trying to find something that just walks me through how it looks and stuff. But maybe I should just does anybody know if anybody from Substance? We'll just bring him on this stream and have him break it down for us or something. Kind of like what we have with Curtis. He's like a breaking down Fusion. It's cool to see everybody using Fusion and stuff and how strong it is. So, I mean, it looks like it's pretty good. Can you use this stuff to go and like take something and bring it into Unity? Does it work like that? Do you know? Or
Yeah,
okay, that's cool.
it's really easy. It's really easy. It
awesome.
has, it even has some presets for Unity and Unreal.
Okay.
You don't have to. The exporting is really easy.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Leo used this, huh? Leo's in the chat. So, actually, there's a good question that's coming in that's a little bit off what we're talking about, but this is actually an interesting thing, and it'd actually be good to know what you think of this too, Diego. So, question is, someone wants to use one of my illustrations as a background for a YouTube music video. He earns money with advertisement on YouTube. Would you charge money for this? If yes, how much money would you appropriate for an intermediate skilled artist? You know, it's really difficult, honestly. It depends on what it is and where you're going from. From my standpoint, I did, when I first started, I gave away quite a bit of things, and I think that's bad business. But at the same time, I think, you know, it's like, as long as, I don't know, it's that whole exposure thing, you know, like how valuable you find your exposure, you know, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer this as good as I probably should, and I don't want to give you bad advice, but I think if it's like if it's like Madonna or something huge, you know, or like, I don't know, whoever's like a big artist, I don't pay attention to mainstream music, but if it's somebody that's really quite powerful and huge, then I think it would be of your best interest to have them pay for it. And then how much you charge for that, man, I don't know. You'd have to ask them how much they are getting from it and to see whether you're going to do like a one-time charge or you're going to do something more. It's quite difficult, honestly. So how would you deal with that, Diego?
Yeah, I will make sure I'm credited either way.
Yeah.
I will be sure that there is a link to the original art in my website or whatever.
Yeah.
Even if they pay for the art, I will make sure that it's there. And yeah, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Many people do it even if you don't like it. I've seen a lot of artwork of people, for example, from Mache.
Yeah.
There are a lot of videos with his art.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's a hard one.
Yeah, it happens a lot. It's just a part of it. So usually if you contact them and say, hey, this is my art, and don't use it, or if you don't feel comfortable with it, I would say don't let them and stuff too. So I would just, it's really difficult. It's hard to know your standpoint on that and where you want to be. So maybe you would be okay with using it as exposure and have them credit you if that matters anything to you, or if you want to have them chart, if you want to bill them, then yeah, maybe try to work out like what it's worth to them and kind of work a deal out. So Diego, do you want me to pass this off to you and you want to show us some stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
That would be nice.
Let's do that. I'm going to switch over the Skype window. There we go. Let's see if I can put this as full screen. This view. Let's see. Alt enter. Okay, cool. So take it away, sir.
Great. It's showing up in the stream?
Yeah, I can see you. Yeah.
Great.
And I'm sorry, I was supposed to be sharing my screen with you the whole time. You're probably looking at the live stream. So that's, the live stream's like, I don't know, 10 seconds delayed. So
no, I'm actually not looking at it because it was slowing down my connection. I have a really bad connection.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
it's doing good. This is the scene that you made for the class, right?
Yeah, this is the first one, and it's actually the one I'm happier with.
Cool.
Seeing them all together.
Ah.
So yeah, there's something about the spontaneity and doing things because it was built really fast. Maybe this one worked better because I did a concept first.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a thing. The concept was really detailed.
Yeah.
It was pretty much as detailed as the scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was probably something about it.
But to explain to people is that you made one first in Photoshop, right?
Yeah, I can show it.
Yeah, if you could that way. So in the class, I make everything using basically Photoshop tricks and techniques, and then utilizing Cinema 4D very seldomly, and just to gather and make things that we want to help inspire what we're creating. And Diego was doing so good, and he was really getting into X particles and into fog and Cinema 4D and Octane and all that stuff. So I just said, hey, why don't you go ahead and just make it all in Cinema 4D, because it'd be cool to be able to like fly around the scene and have you take pictures of it basically and stuff. And so yeah, so he went off and he kind of broke the rules in the class, which I enforced because I thought it would be a lot better for him. So yeah, so these are the things that you made and then brought into Photoshop, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is the one I made, pulling together some images from assets in 3D, and this is the final one in the 3D scene. They look pretty much, well, the colors change a bit, but that's normal, I guess.
Yeah.
I like better the 3D one. I had some time to improve many things. I'm happier with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
With the concept. But yeah, that was the process. In the other scenes I did for this, for the mentorship, I didn't create a concept first, and yeah, now in looking back at it, I should have at least a proper sketch, maybe.
Yeah. I think having a sketch really helps. So it helps like guide you, because when you go into cinema and as you mentioned, like using this kind of stuff is very like, using any 3D software is very intense, and there's a lot of things that will distract you, So, but yeah, this is cool. It's cool seeing the scene and how everything lays out and stuff. So, yeah. And you're using, are you using one GPU or multiple GPUs? Oh, you got two 1080s. Okay, cool.
Yeah, two awesome. 1080s. I was really fortunate, and I had a great job last year illustrating books for science book for children at the schools.
Yeah.
So I took all the money and built a better computer for Octane and C4D, and really getting this stuff done in a reasonable time.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, it's like a matter of when you have like a lot of cards, no matter what, it's never enough. So
yeah, it's never enough.
Yeah, it's never enough. Even if you have, I don't know, maybe if you have 1,000 cards, but then you're just going to want to push the scenes that much further, So I went to this Pixar exhibit last weekend. It was really cool, and they were saying in their whole thing is that it takes their server 33 hours to render one frame on average. I was like, how the hell is that even possible? How do you guys make any films? It's pretty crazy. So yeah, because they usually, I think they have an older proprietary software that they use, and there's like hundreds of lights in their scenes to light things, which I found really quite interesting. So yeah. But yeah, so you can walk through maybe like some stuff that you've been using, or you're learning in X particles or something. Did you have something in mind with this piece?
Well, here I wanted to show that there is nothing special. There is something I would like to talk about in cameras, because I was having a lot of questions about the depth of field.
Sure, yeah, we can go over that.
So, yeah, this is the real-time rendering. It's a bit slow because there is a lot of volumetrics, which is the first trick I'm using.
Yeah.
The volumetrics I'm creating are not done in the way is shown, for example, I watched closely your mentorship in the advanced C4D class at Learn Square.
Oh yeah.
So
Is that the Michael Wrigley's course?
yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, yeah. I used a lot of volumetrics in that one. Yeah, that was
Yeah, you
fun.
were using the fog tag,
Mm-hmm.
which is really awesome.
Yeah,
But I'm actually not using it. I'm using the
scatter, huh?
volumetric material. Yeah,
Yeah, it takes a long
is the
time. It takes longer, I think. That's what I found to
takes
use.
longer, but it actually, yeah, it's really better. In the last scenes, I was using the fog tag, and it was uh, really way faster, even in path tracing.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm using
Interesting.
this.
Yeah, so you're using your scattering material. I think I'm trying to think. I think it was Rafael Rao was the one that showed me this stuff for the first time, which is a lot of fun. The scattering fog material, and then there was also a guy on YouTube that does a video. I forget his name. He's a really nice guy too. But yeah, it's just a matter of setting your density and volume step length properly. Then also you're setting your absorption and scatter material with the right um, color properties and stuff too, which is good. So.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, for me, the value I'm uh, paying a lot of close attention is the phase one. Phase is super important for in order to get the nice fog around the highlights.
Oh, like the way that everything is highlighting around it and the bounce and stuff, particles
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
like a halo.
It controls the angle of the reflection
Hmm.
inside the fog itself. So
Interesting.
uh, pulling it up creates really nice effects, really atmospheric effects. It's really the biggest advantage when using the material and not the fog tag.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, because then you can adjust those parameters. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Do you make a bounding box and then set the? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I can't pull the camera inside the cube,
Mm-hmm.
so I will show the cube.
Gotcha.
It's
Yeah. Now you're inside of it. Yeah.
no, now I'm out.
Now
I
you're
will
out.
get
Yeah.
inside so that it shows that yeah,
There you
you
are.
see there the fog disappears and it's way uglier.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
crazy when you see these things when they have their effects and when they don't. I'm wondering. I've
yeah,
been looking at like, do you play with After Effects much?
I don't. I'm planning on getting more into it. I know a little bit, but yeah, I really want to create at least for creating the textures
Hmm.
as Mike shows.
Yeah. It's
I think it's really powerful.
yeah, it's there's some interesting things inside of After Effects too that I've been really getting into. That is really kind of helping bridge the gap, so that you don't have to do all these like because these renders take forever. If you were to actually have to
Mm,
make an animation, let's say like right now you're at 700 samples and stuff, it just would take so long to get the results. If you're doing like 24 frames a second, let's say you're doing 3 minutes of animation or something, it'll just take you so long. So
yeah, it will take
trying to
forever.
I've been trying to figure out ways of speeding up this stuff so that it doesn't take so much. I mean, I have 3 Titans and then 3 980s, so I have 6 GPUs, and still it just takes forever. So I think the 1080s are actually quite fast too. So, but no, that's cool.
I'm really happy with them.
Yeah,
Actually, if someone is, I haven't tested any other GPU,
yeah,
so I can't talk properly about it. But I'm seeing a lot of happy customers in the forums, so I'm guessing
yeah.
it's a good one.
The 1080 Ti's I think are coming out pretty soon too, and those should be pretty awesome. So.
Yeah,
So that's interesting. So you made the bounding box for that set of an absorption material for the fog.
yeah,
I think that really helps. So I mean, once you see all that scatter and stuff, it's really it starts to make it look softer and unlike anything that's typical in 3D. I think always with 3D to mimic reality, you're constantly trying to remove the perfection of the imagery that you're making, and I think that doing things like this, compositing tricks inside there is really good. Do you use any compositing tricks on your camera tag, like the glow
oh
and all that
yeah,
stuff? Yeah, that's one thing I noticed too. I can instantly tell when somebody makes something in Octane, because I could tell the digital bloom that they're using. You can see
Yeah.
it. You can really see it in there.
I usually do the bloom in Photoshop because I have much control there.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to be subtle about it. You can't overdo it really easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have emissive objects, it's really nice to have it in Octane.
Yeah.
I can maybe talk about it a little bit in Photoshop because I'm really happy with the workflow here. I think I've improved it a little bit in this mentorship especially.
Awesome.
So what I'm doing in Photoshop is, well, you will probably see even in the live stream, there is a lot of banding in the file itself.
Yeah. Is that the tone map? That's why, right? In your render settings.
Yeah, it's because it's 16 bits in Photoshop. So and it's 4K, if you get close, you won't see it because it's compressing the information in a proper way. Mm-hmm. But if you get far, it will start appearing. It won't appear in your final image.
Yeah.
So maybe with the other color setup, it won't happen. But this is the way it's in linear, and it's working fine for me this way.
Yeah, do you use linear for your renders? Because that's one thing I do as well. That really helps because I don't like having any of their LUTs on the render, the final renders. Usually, if there's like a tone map setting, I think in the final render asset, like output thing that usually saves that. But sorry, continue. You're talking about the banding issue.
No, yeah, that's important. It for me it really misses the point of having 16 bits in Photoshop, 16 bits of information, because if you have a color map, you are probably losing part of that juicy information for the retouching.
Yeah.
It depends. I really like to do the colors myself in Photoshop.
Yeah, okay. And that's good then. So, if you get into After Effects, it's basically the same thing. Like After Effects, my friend Chris has been showing me some really cool stuff, and he has a good analogy for After Effects. He's like, it's Photoshop with wheels, because I've been using it off and on, and I'm very familiar with it for a very long time, but now I'm like really using it a lot in my workflow, and it's been a lot of fun. So it'll be the same kind of process for you once you get into it, because you'll eventually start making animations, I imagine, So what are you doing here?
Yeah, here I'm combining all the light passes. Because of the volumetrics, I don't have all the passes that Octane provides. I don't have depth, for example, because the box is blocking the depth perception of Octane. But yeah, I have here all the passes. It probably shows really small in the live stream. Maybe that's better. But yeah, I have all the light passes.
Yeah, and this is, could you show, when we go back to Octane, just how you're getting all those light passes? Because you do a final.
Yes, of course.
That'd be great, just so people can see if they're curious. Because this is something that I teach in main title design, but just so you guys know, just in case you're not aware. So, how do you, so could you show when you go to, there you go, your Octane settings. So when you go to your render settings in Octane itself, to get those different passes, render passes down. Mm-hmm.
Here you have the beauty passes.
Yeah.
I don't have those activated because of the volumetrics. And here are the light passes.
And then on your lights, you've set an ID for them, right? So like if you go to click on your light, then you'll set an ID to that, and then you'll set it to that. Okay, cool. So then you have it. Cool. Yeah.
All separated. That way you can adjust the lighting in Photoshop if you need to, and I always like to
more control it in comp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure people are able to follow us if you're new to all this stuff. So those are all your passes basically all combined into one. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I like to, even though it has some blur from the depth of field in Octane, which you can set up in the camera settings. By the way, in photography, the depth of field is related also to the focal length.
Your dad is a photographer, didn't you say, right?
Yeah, he is.
That's right. Yeah, awesome.
He's really good. He probably doesn't like to me to say that, but he is really good.
Awesome.
And yeah, and I've also studied photography at the university as part of the design program. And actually, some of the best teachers I had in the university were in photography. We were doing camera obscura and those kind of experiments, which are a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
you learn a lot about lighting and rendering from photography. I
Yeah,
really
it's all
recommend.
knowledge, man. Real world
Yeah,
knowledge is also really good as long as it's heading towards your goal of understanding how to make art and how to use light and how to capture light. I mean, it's all the same kind of stuff. It's just a matter of how you see it. I think we talked about your dad a little bit in mentorship. Does he like what you create? Does he see? Can
yeah,
you show him what you're making, and what does he think of this?
yeah. They are really encouraging.
That's cool.
I'm really fortunate because both of them, both my father and my mother, have really good aesthetic taste.
Yeah.
And yeah, also my grandfather is an artist. He has also really high taste and standards.
Hmm.
So yeah, they have been very encouraging. They were really happy
That's
this week
awesome.
when I got
Yeah.
that
Awesome.
final job.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's great to have to being surrounded by people who have good standards in that
Yeah,
way.
absolutely. The thing I love about making stuff in 3D too, to go into that, is that you can create any lens and any camera combination that you want. That's one thing I absolutely love, and I think if you're new to photography and stuff, I think there's no better way to learn photography than going and grabbing a camera and shooting. But if you don't have the money to have all that
Absolutely.
gear, you can go in and actually take photographs inside a Cinema 4D and find which camera lenses you like, because you might really like wide lenses, very low, like 25s or lower than that. Or you might really like for me, my favorite lens is a 50 mil. I love anywhere from a 40 to like an 80. Those are my favorites. And then I also really love like 135 telephotos and stuff, because I love
Oh
how
yeah.
everything feels orthographic and stuff. It flattens it down, so it becomes very stylized. I love those a lot
Yeah,
too. So,
exactly.
but you're using a 60 here. Could you explain and break down your understanding of sensor size and how that adjusts? Because I think that'd be kind of cool to get into. Because I mean, coming
Well,
from your heritage and your dad and everything. So, like, why did you pick this lens, for example, or this camera setup?
so the lens in this one was I would have probably choose even a longer one like an 80 or even 100. I choose this one because the composition with these spheres wasn't tangent to the circle. I think that was the thing that was worrying me when I used an 80. I would have used an 80 and it will probably look better with an 80 because I have a really small depth of field here. It's really blurry in the background, and that only happens if you have a really large lens like an 80.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 60 is not bad, but it will be better with an 80. Yeah, if you want your images to look photographic, you have to follow photographic rules.
Yeah.
The advantage in rendering is that you can break the rules, but it's good to know them. Probably in other cameras, I'm using an 80. In this one, oh, I was using a 60
60.
here
Yeah.
too. Yeah, well, but yeah, native would probably be a better option in this one, definitely. But yeah, it's better to know those rules.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then I love the. So what I do, I typically make things via Octane, as I use the camera tag, and then I just adjust the aperture inside of the camera tag. But it looks like you're using like the field of view horizontal angle and the vertical angle and stuff. Is that what do you play with the aperture inside of the actual camera tag itself, or do you just only in these two settings here?
Hmm. I don't know why those changes. Oh, okay, I know why. Well, yeah, I oh I'm sorry, what was the question?
Oh,
If I'm using
just
these
yeah, using
values?
that in comparison to like the camera tag, like the Octane camera tag. So if you click on the camera tag in Octane, and if it goes
Yeah,
go into like the thin lens, yeah, and adjusting the aperture right there.
yeah,
Um,
no, I usually do it here. Yeah, but I think if you change the values here, it changes them here too, in
yeah,
the camera itself.
yeah,
But yeah, well, yeah, I don't play with these values usually. I play with the regular ones, and of course the focal length. You have to use it here.
yeah. It's in the main camera. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
but yeah, I'm playing with here. I usually use the DEF. I don't use the aperture because it's not. I don't know. I use the f-stop better. If you use aperture, you run the risk of using a really shallow depth of field.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I usually just drag things around until it looks right. Honestly.
yeah. The thing is, seeing it here in the small preview, you are not seeing the real depth of field because it's really small. I like to do that with actual iterations of rendering, with low settings in lighting, but really having that properly set up and being sure that that is right. I'm really nerdy about image quality.
No, that's good.
That's probably, yeah. For example, I have really hard time photo bashing because I like really nice details in my images, and I can't warp the. I love photo bash image and context, but I can't do them myself properly.
Well, yeah, that's what your style is going to become of. It's things that you like and what you don't like, and that's going to be a culmination of the things that you know, everybody has a different style based on their different like desires and what they want to create and stuff too. So, okay, sorry, you were going through here and you were breaking down how you're taking an image and doing the post effects in Photoshop.
Yeah, so having all this blurry and this, I will show it. Well, I don't know if this is gonna show up properly in the live stream, but I have.
So.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Probably it's because of the connection and because it's really subtle.
Yeah,
But
it's okay.
there is a very important step for me, which is the noise. You probably know about Ross Tran. He's really awesome, and he has his color dodge time in his YouTube videos. It's
Yeah,
really
Ross
fun.
Tran, he's like an illustrator artist, right? He does the YouTube
Yeah,
videos. He's really funny. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Mache showed me his stuff. He's really funny.
really upbeat. It's really funny. So he has his color dodge time, and I have my noise layer time. So I like to use this method, which I learned from a professional retoucher of fashion and magazine photographs, and it's probably overdoing it for concept and this kind of images, but what I
It's all
do
good.
is I create several layers of noise and I mix them with different opacity
Okay.
so that they achieve a more natural noise, because if you use the noise by default, even if you set it to a really low, by the way, these are made by creating a new layer, filling it with gray, and
Does it matter what value?
Yeah, it really matters.
Okay.
It has to be perfect 50%. It has to be half.
Okay.
And medium gray. Well, it's not really medium gray. Medium gray photography is a bit lower.
Yeah.
But it's almost medium gray. And you have to go to filter, noise, add noise. And I like to create a really strong noise in the layer that is going to be down.
Mm-hmm.
For example, this one will be great. And I like to use a bit more subtle noise for the upper layers.
Mm-hmm.
And what I, oh yeah,
You're using like you're blending between three of them, then three different levels, like you're setting
yeah,
it.
exactly.
What's your group blend mode set to? Screen?
The group it's set
Overlay.
to overlay,
Gotcha.
and the layers themselves have
Different
to be
opacity.
normal. Yeah,
Okay.
but if you could achieve some effects with if you set the layers themselves to overlay and then the group to overlay too. You can also try soft light, but usually overlay works better. Soft light works well if you have really a really light scene, but this one is darker, so overlay works better.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I've used a similar technique before. You're gonna love After Effects because this is. I actually started using this this plugin that I got for Photoshop, Premiere, and After Effects called Film Convert. It's really good. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, there are really nice filters for noise in After Effects, way better than in Photoshop.
Yeah, well, you can actually use the same plugin for Photoshop.
Yeah?
If you buy it, you can buy plugins for all the other programs like DaVinci Resolve, all of those things, and Photoshop. So you should check it out. I think I bought it it was like on sale. It was like $100 or something, but I use it because I like to put noise and stuff on all the stuff I do in After Effects because it just really solidifies and breaks things down a little bit too. Do you use a chromatic shift in this as well? Like, do you split the RGB too?
So I don't like to do it because it's a bit
Unrealistic.
I don't know. It's hard not to overdo it.
Yeah, you could do it slightly though, right? No.
Yeah, you could do it slightly, and if I do, I like to play with the channels themselves and not with the filter. I like to maybe warp them a little bit with a filter, maybe with I don't know, with distort on or some of those filters. But I can do it because this is a smart object. By the way, I use them a lot. For example, here I have the 16-bit file, and I'm converting it to 8-bit and converting it to a smart object, so I have all the information, and then I'm building everything else on top. For example, all this noise and these particles, I'm adding them in 8-bit because it doesn't make sense to use an 8-bit layer. Well, it makes sense, but I would rather do it in 8-bit.
Yeah. Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, and all these different. So you're doing all these things to prevent the banding, basically, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the banding is solved when you. And the thing with 16-bit is that you can adjust the image a lot without banding, even if you are really far away, or I mean, if you print the image really big, you can eliminate the banding if you are working with 16-bit because the program has way more information in every channel.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's why sometimes it's better to do color correction in Octane, for example, or in V-Ray if you are not going to take that image to Photoshop in 8-bit because it will solve all the banding.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, that. I'm sorry, I get all nerdy.
No, don't be sorry. This is cool. This is what you like. So,
yeah.
And if you care and pay attention to these things, I mean, somebody else is out there doing that as well. I mean, that's what I think makes David Fincher stand out from a lot of other directors too, is his his desire to make the image that I think he's really quite keen on, So, yeah, this noise thing that you're using is pretty cool. I use a similar technique, but it's a little bit different. But I think all in all, I think it's really effective, and you can start to really see it. It really helps. Again, as we talked about, like with 3D stuff, it really helps to make it a little bit less perfect and make it more like tactile, and there's a sensibility to it that really helps. Almost like you can reach out and touch it, and yeah.
It's funny because photographers work the other way around. They start with an image that is not corrected and that is not perfect, and they try to get it as perfect as possible.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, it's cool though. These techniques are really great. Yeah, and you're using like to adjust the to give that like that umber, like that warm tone. You're using like overlays too.
Yeah, I like to adjust the colors of the materials and light as much as possible in 3D. In this image, I was really happy with the colors as I have had them in 3D. But yeah, I use a lot of vibrance layers and hue and color balance. I prefer hue in most situations to color balance. It's a bit more intuitive to me. But yeah. For example, in this one, there are a lot of layers of adjustment of color.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I usually work that way.
One thing I found that like for me personally, like Octane's really great. You can get things really far, but I find that to get it from 90% to like 98 to 100%, it has to be done in post and comp to add all those extra bits and pieces, just to get yourself to that final area. I find that. Octane's really amazing at getting you far, but it's the post that gets you completely far, all the way there, So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was doing it so much in Octane because I really wanted to learn the software. If I was on my own or for a client, I will probably do half the work in post.
Yeah.
But yeah. My personal objective, it was not the objective for the mentorship, but it was more of a personal thing. I really wanted to do as much as possible in 3D to really nail the knowledge there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, looks really cool though, and your final effect I think feels really solid, and it has like a good soft feel to it, and yeah. Have you tried? Because I know in your other pieces too, you have quite a bit of color. Because this one's like quite monochromatic. How do you approach like making things with multiple different ranges of color?
There is an awesome book by James Gurney, which teaches a lot about traditional painting, and I've been lately doing a lot of studies with of old masters' paintings and photographies. And yeah, I think the trick there is having a good theory behind, and also having good reference, because in 3D it's really easy to get lost in subtle changes that are not really getting you there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to have an image and really have in mind where I'm going.
Yeah. I think that's really important. We talk about that a lot in class too, like having like a tent pole, I guess, something that you could really like latch onto to help you visually come back to, like the references, and using those references to really inspire you as you go, because it's easy to get lost. Like if you're in cinema or 3D or any application that you're using, there's so many different distractions, and it's good to have like those things to remind you. I mean, I'm constantly, whenever I work on anything, I'm constantly looking at the reference in which I've pulled and looked at, so that can really help inspire me, whether it's work from other artists or mostly it's nature, because nature's like holds the patent to everything basically, because we're constantly just trying to recreate it all the time because it's what we know, it's what we're so familiar with. But I find that making things and utilizing references is really important. Utilizing them right, we're not in a way that it's just like ripping them off, but it's like utilizing them in a sense where it's just, having them help you, because it's so easy to get lost, as you mentioned, so.
Yeah, it's a hard balance, but it's impossible not to reference anything.
Yeah.
It's even if you are not looking at an image. In fact, if you are not looking at an image, you might be less original because you are not being conscious of what you are really putting into the canvas.
Yeah, yeah.
I think having a reference helps you also to get farther from it. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but yeah, I think it works that way a lot of the time.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. No, and this is one thing we talked a lot about in class, and this is one thing I think that I found to be unique about the way you look at things is you have a broader approach to the way you look at these things. I think it's really important. Everybody that's listening here is when you go into these things and you're trying to create something, it's really good to have a broad approach to your creative prowess, like the way you make things. It's really good to see everything from afar, but also look at it very closely. I think, Diego, one thing that you prevail in a lot is being able to see things very closely and care about the nitty gritty, but also see things from afar as well. And I think it's really good to have those perspectives when you're creating things, to be able to see the bigger picture and the influences, but then also be able to see like the nitty gritty close details and stuff. So we have like 5 more minutes. Time flies by really quickly when we're
time
doing
flies.
these.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we have a lot of fun with these. I would love to have you back anytime that you would want to. And but if you have anything else you wanted to share with us in 5 minutes, I know it's kind of a crunch, but there's something that you feel like maybe something in X particles that you're learning, or something in post production or Photoshop, whatever, really, anything that you're like really excited about. So.
Well, I would like to actually take a bit of time to talk about the community. I'm really grateful to be in this community of artists, not only in the concept art and 3D and Blender and Fusion and all those communities, but in Learn Square. I think it's a really awesome community, and
a lot of great people. Everybody's awesome.
Slack is a lot of fun. I think those mentorships are worth it, and the I don't know the name of the course or the program, but the intermediate program where you can pay for the
Learn
content
Squared?
of the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think those are worth it, not only because of the content, which is really great, but because of the access to the community, I think is essential. So I've been thinking a lot about how to share a bit more with the community, because people ask me for tutorials. I've received lots of messages in Facebook asking for tutorials, and I might get to it, but I honestly don't want to interfere with what is. I don't think I can do it better than the UI course. I think it's. I don't know. I can't do anything better.
You will.
What I
you
can
get there. Teaching's a whole different thing, though. Teaching's very complicated. So it's very different.
In that sense, I would rather redirect people there than gaining a few bucks from Gumroad, which is, I don't think is really, I don't know.
Yeah, Gumroad is, they're really cool. They're effective in their own regards, but they're disposable because there's nothing to latch onto beyond just a tutorial. So they're kind of frivolous almost.
Honestly, it's hard to find those great ones. I mean, there are the Mache and Yamaha awesome tutorials in Gumroad, but most of them are a bit weak in structure. The content is great. It's a structure what probably it's a bit lower because you are paying less, of course. So everything has advantages and disadvantages. But I've been thinking a lot about how to give back to the community, and I've tried to give a lot of feedback in images, but I'm really bad at it. I read the other day, and I have this quote from The Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to improve my English, so I'm reading.
It's getting better every time, man.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Good.
So yeah, I can't speak English with many people here. So when I speak with people from the internet, it gets better
It's
with time.
practice. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, there is this quote: "Advice is a dangerous gift, even from the wise to the wise."
Yeah. It's very
Which
true.
is it's really really true. I mean, I could give advice, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel that it will be that strong. In fact, it could injure people
Yeah.
more than it will help them.
That happens too when I teach too. Yeah. Because like a lot of times somebody will come up with something and it might not be my approach, but it looks really awesome, and I don't know what to say other than just continue doing it, because they might be on the fringe of making their own style or something. I don't want people just to be like me,
Absolutely.
you know. I want them to be able to explore it and to try different things and stuff. I think that's really important, because the world would be so boring if it was just everybody was doing the same thing, you know. So I think it's really important that everybody's trying their own things and doing their own things and finding their own style and stuff, you know. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying?
Yeah, and even if there is a clear problem and you talk about it, it might not help really, because it's usually better for people to find their own way and be of course, advice in the mentorships is completely different. I'm talking about the kind of the Slack homework, which is also useful. I asked there for some advice, and it was great. I'm not good at it, so yeah. What I offer, and I promise that I will get back to people, is if anyone has any question about technical problems like Octane, Blender, C4D, even ZBrush or Fusion 360, Substance, or whatever software, even if it's from a software I don't know, I will really try to help there. That's probably the best way I could get back.
Yeah,
So
it's awesome.
yeah,
Wise, dude. Wise words. These are great. I have to go, unfortunately. This has been amazing.
yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and sharing your journey with us. A huge congratulations on your new job. I'm super happy for you. I knew it was going to happen. I told you it was, so I'm really thankful and happy, and I'm just stoked for you. Happy holidays and awesome.
No, no.
Congratulations, and thank you for being here. Thank you everybody for being here on the Slack channel, or not Slack channel, but in the actual Twitch stream comments. You guys are great. I've been kind of glancing at it. Yeah, there's I'm gonna be here tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning with Adam Swab. We're doing his course release, so if you guys want to join in on that, that's gonna be amazing. His class is gonna be epic. So if you want to know more about Houdini or are interested in learning Houdini, we're dropping that class tomorrow. So super powerful day tomorrow. I'm super excited for that, and we've been working on it with Adam for quite some time now. So we'll be here at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time from now. So be sure to check that out. Be sure to also check out Diego's work and follow him on Facebook or Twitter or whatever works for you. And feel free, Diego, to post any of your information up in the chat so people know what's up.
Yeah, I will send it via Facebook or via Skype, because I can't access the.
Yeah, it's all good.
The Slack, but yeah, if anyone contacts me via Slack, I will respond as fast as I can. And in Facebook, for everyone who is losing the great knowledge of the community at Learn Square, I'm also available at Facebook, and I can answer there really fast.
Awesome. Cool, guys. I have to go. You guys are awesome. Keep rocking. Here you guys go. Here's some information. Be sure to reach out to Diego, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 a.m. for Adam's class reveal. Thanks, Diego.
Awesome.
Have a great day. See you guys.
Grateful to be here.
Be great, everybody.
Thanks.
Peace out, everyone.